2024 thus far has been a revolutionary year for the development of video games. We've seen countless years worth of effort poured into video games finally seeing their release, with games like Modern Warfare 3 and Skull and Bones, and the list just goes on and on. In this video, we will be talking about another raging success from one of the biggest video game developers in the entire world, specifically mobile game developers. We're going to be talking about Squad Busters, which is Supercell's latest game release. Supercell is very well known for their previous games being Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, and Brawl Stars, probably the three most popular mobile games of all time, all made by the same company. However, there's also a pretty nasty side of Supercell you probably don't know about. They've killed a lot of games. Their most infamous game-killing spree was back in April of 2021 with the 3 Clash games announcement. In this announcement, it's been about 3 or 4 years since Brawl Stars saw its global release, and so it was time for Supercell to release a new game. In this announcement, they said that there would be, well, 3 new Clash-related games. Unfortunately, all 3 of these games ended up getting killed. 2 of them that go by Clash Quest and Clash Mini both got killed in early beta stages, and a third one by the name of Clash Heroes never even saw a public beta. Now, I'm not even mad about this. In fact, probably for the better. I mean, if you take a look at some of the gameplay of these games, and you know what? I see why they killed these games off. Good for them. But that means it's back to the drawing board. A good 3 or so years later, we finally see the release of Squad Busters. Squad Busters is a multiplayer game that combines elements of real-time strategy and tactical combat through an assembled team of diverse characters, each with unique abilities to battle against opponents in fast-paced matches. Now, the cool thing about this game is that it actually combines all of the realms of Supercell's games. Whether if you're a Brawl Stars player, maybe you play Clash Royale or Clash of Clans, or maybe you even play Boom Beach and Heyday, some of Supercell's less successful but still pretty successful games. All of the characters from all of these games are in Squad Busters, and they all have their own unique set of abilities. The Squad Busters game itself, the concept is actually very simple. When you press play, you're loaded into a map where you need to collect coins to open chests where you can select characters to add to your squad. There are 10 other people in the lobby with you that are collecting gems. In order to win the game, you need to either kill every other opponent or collect more gems than they do. And in order to attack your opponents, you need to run on top of them and stand still. Also, there's not very many maps. The gameplay is kind of slow and boring, and there's actually only one game mode. It's just gem grab. There's nothing else. All right, if you couldn't tell, the cat's out of the bag now. This game is awful, and it's gonna be killed. Money on the line. Go drop a comment in 6 months and flame me, report my channel if this game still is global. I just refuse to believe that this game is going to be a success. It just sucks, and I'm gonna explain why. I'm not just gonna drop this shell on you guys and then be like, well, you can go figure it out yourself. So similarly to my other game critiquing videos, I've kind of split this up into different sections. I'm going to be talking about the actual front of the game, I guess. So like what you see, what you play, the options of how to play, stuff like that. And then I'll talk about the combat in the game, which actually seems like a very specific thing to talk about, but honestly, it's worth having its own section because of how horrible it is. Just wait. And in the last section, I'll talk about 2 things, one of which Supercell might be doing in the coming months regarding this game. This is what you see when you load into Squad Busters. On the screen right now, there is a big fat play button, and when you press play, you just load into a game. There's no different game modes. You can play with friends, sure, but you load into one of 3 maps with one of 3 modifiers. This right here is the screen of your squad, and upon first glance, it kind of looks pretty cool, right? There's a few characters, right? Maybe not as many brawlers as there is in Brawl Stars, but you know that game's existed for a while. This game is just fresh out of the bat, and the fact we have this many characters is pretty cool. On screen now, I'm kind of clicking through the available characters that you can play as, each with their own unique abilities, as I've said. For example, Greg here is a supplier, and he has the ability to chop certain trees on the map to collect loot. We have Colt from Brawl Stars, who is a ranged fighter who does high damage. We've got maybe the Hog Rider, who can run faster on grass. It's a lot of similar abilities to the actual characters from their respective games. And once you load into the game, you can select from your owned characters who you can summon to your squad every time you open a chest. Now, I will admit, it's pretty nice how many playable characters there are, and it's cool how you can synergize these characters onto your team. Also, there exist different maps, but they're really just rehashes and recolors of each other. Of course, really the only way to progress is through the battle pass, and if you don't spend money on this game, you probably won't have any fun at all. I spent a good $5 on this game, and I feel like it's just gone. I'm never getting that $5 back, no matter how many shifts I work. It's just gone. I think it's time we move into the next section, which is the main factor of what absolutely sends this game into the dirt, at least for me. I don't know about you guys, but I'm assuming probably 90% of you guys will agree, and that is the combat system. Take Clash of Clans, for example. The combat system is actually very, very cool. You can train the characters that you want to use in a battle, and then once you get into the battle, you can tap on the screen where to release these characters, and they kind of go do their own thing, but at least you can set up like maybe a cool rollout for which golem or stuff like that. Take Brawl Stars. Brawl Stars probably has the best combat system out of all of the Supercell games. Very straightforward. Joystick on the left to move, joystick on the right to shoot. A lot of the different characters have different methods of shooting. You can shoot while running, standing still, in a bush, whatever it is. You can do a lot of things in Brawl Stars. There's also the super ability, there's hypercharges, there's gadgets, each to really spice up how you can kill or run away from somebody. Now let's come back to Squad Busters here. How do you attack someone? Well, if you can see, there's no joystick for shooting. There's just a little turbo icon. How do you attack? Is it auto? No, you actually need to stand still while standing on top of somebody to attack them. Now you might think for this, oh yeah, you probably just stand still on someone and they just die immediately if you're stronger than them, right? You need to kill each last person on their squad. You might be thinking, oh, so when you attack them, they probably get stunned, right? So that way they can't just walk away. They can just walk away. Stand still on someone, they take up like maybe 1% of damage and then walk away. They go on an afternoon stroll away. You have 90 gems, someone else has 5. You stand on top of them, they just got tickled a little, and then they walk away. So securing kills in this game is obviously it just doesn't work. There is a zone that closes in kind of like Brawl Stars, and most of the kills are secured in the last 30 seconds of the match because it's in an enclosed space. But in the first like 5 minutes of the match, all you're doing is just killing AI, killing robots, and opening chests. It's really boring. Like, imagine playing Minecraft for 5 minutes and then alt F4ing and restarting. Maybe you craft a pickaxe and then you get iron and then your game closes and you restart. And you just keep doing that over and over and over. Not to mention, there's absolutely no way to spice up combat at all. There's ranged characters and there's melee characters. If you're a fan of these slower paced games where really you're mostly farming and playing walking around simulator, I guess the game is for you, but other than that, I don't understand how anybody in their right mind would play this. All right, it's time to talk about the future of Squad Busters. What do we think is going to happen? Well, one of two things are going to happen. Either they ramp up development or find a way to really enhance the game by releasing new game modes, maybe doing different things to just make the game better. I'm not a game developer, so I'm not just going to you know what I mean? But, I mean, the game is redeemable, okay? It's not as bad as Plants vs. Zombies 3. For those who follow the Plants vs. Zombies franchise, I made a video on that. I definitely recommend you check it out because I beat that game to pieces. But Squad Busters, it's not over. It's not Jover. We're almost there, but it's not Jover yet. It could be Jover, though. And that's the second thing that could happen, is this game just gets killed. It just gets shut down. I really don't know the success of this game. Obviously, it's not global yet, so we can't measure that. I would assume, based on the product that they're pushing out, that this game will not do well. And who knows, it might find its fandom. That is for us to figure out. And as I said, Supercell is pretty picky with the games that they release. If they think a game is going to be not successful, they do not hesitate in killing it. I know earlier I brought up only 3 Clash games that got killed, but there are plenty of more Supercell games that got killed. I'm not going to go too in detail because it's kind of irrelevant, but to name drop them, if you want to do some research, there's Rush Wars, there's Boom Beach Frontline, there's a couple of more like Match 3 games and other stuff that they released. Anyways, to wrap it up, I don't think this game is going to make it very far, and they would have to do a lot of work to revamp this game. It's a shame. They really are just missing with these games recently, but I'm still playing Brawl Stars. I'm still playing Clash Royale. If you're worried about my credentials, if you're going to go comment and be like, "Oh, you don't know anything about Supercell games." I am a top 1000 Clash Royale player. I am Ultimate Champion 1.9, and I am a legendary rank in Brawl Stars. Before you call me a loser, I